Gentlemen, you don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
Hello, and welcome to the Town Alone podcast brought to you by The Wheel. I am your host, Adam Hess, and with me, he just missed a field goal. It's Mike Regan. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. You haven't mentioned it at all, but I think this is the fourth straight pod and or live stream we've done. I'm still in my glasses arc.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I see something and I'm like, if I point this out, is this going to be a thing that makes Mike self-conscious?
Oh, no, I wouldn't have.
So
because
I didn't know if I brought up your glasses, if you were going to be like, oh no, he's seen my glasses. Now I have to hide my face the rest of the podcast.
No, I wouldn't, because I even admit when people are like, oh, you wear glasses. I'm like, yeah, it's usually always my contacts, but when I actually take them out, then I go like 3 or 4 straight weeks wearing the glasses before I finally put the contacts back in.
Your contact habits drive me insane.
Oh, they're not healthy.
Can you tell the people how long you wear contacts for?
Yeah, so for a reference, my contacts are monthlies. So you're supposed to wear them for 30 days, but even though they're monthlies, like no contacts are you supposed to keep in overnight. You're supposed to take them out, put them in the solution, put them in the next day. I don't. So they're monthlies, and then usually by like month 3, I'm like, I have a headache and my eyes hurt. I think it's because I need to take these contacts out finally.
Your eyes are getting squeezed by the piece of glass that has retained zero liquid in it.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Not wear your contacts for 90 days.
That's actually a pretty good idea. You might be right.
See, I don't need contacts because I'm not a dork.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. You get chicks.
Yeah, I get chicks. I'm known for my chick-getting abilities.
Yeah.
But Mike, we are not a Getting Chicks podcast. Oh shit, should we pivot? Should we be a chicks getting podcast? Should that be our thing? We go, what's up gamers? Here's how to get chicks.
You could do like a red-pilled picking up girls podcast where we're like, the thing about these dumb bitches that you got to do to get them into bed.
They want to be insulted. It's genetic programming. Back in the day, cavemen would insult each other constantly. We found this through science, but I would never do science because I'm too busy getting chicks.
You got to tell them they're fat and ugly, and then all of a sudden you'll get them in bed.
If you're at the club and you see a girl that you like and she's not paying you any attention, hit her with a steel chair, then maybe the people's elbow. That'll get her.
My theory about people who are on podcasts like that, my theory is you're closeted, aren't you?
All of them. 100% of them. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they're all gay, right? Some of them are trans. Some of them are non-binary. Some of them are even asexual.
Bisexual.
They just don't know. Yeah, it's a spectrum, and they just don't know how to express that because they grew up in a house with a dad who told them the same things. Right. So these poor people get on podcasts and say the dumbest shit you've ever heard because really at the end of the day, what they want is to be tied up and finger banged by, let's say, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, they're all saying like women's main objective is to have your babies be your slave and make you sandwiches, but inside they're like, I just want the warm touch of a man.
Can I clip that audio? That could be like that can go in our intro song from now on.
Yeah, there you go.
You give me too much power over the edit when you say things like that.
That is true.
I'm gonna play that at your wedding over the loudspeakers.
Go for it if I ever have one.
Hey, you've been closer than me.
I'll tell you what, that was a mistake. So don't do it, Adam. Don't do it. You're right. Your thought process has always been right.
Oh my God. We are a football podcast brought to you by the same people who brought you 2 football podcasts last week, right? Did we do 2 last week or did we just do 1?
We just did 1 because I unfortunately missed Mondays. Or we moved it to Tuesday, but the usual Monday one.
How about this? Brought to you by the same people that brought you a schedule this week.
Dude, I got to give you props. I saw the picture of that schedule and I was like, damn, that looks like we hire an editor. It's really good.
Looks like we paid someone. Yeah. When I was working on the background, I found out how to do Bloom. I figured out Bloom in Photoshop. It was a game changer.
The only thing missing, and I don't even know if I want to do it now because it just feels like part of our identity, but we actually need a legit logo. We got to work on that.
What do you mean? It's the little microphone people. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that's our logo. That's right.
I know. Going back to the early days, I tried to outsource it and pay someone else to do it, and that was a mistake because they gave me back crap.
Yeah.
And it's been 3 years now where we have no logo.
We'll get there.
Yeah, eventually we'll get there. But Mike, Wildcard Weekend happened this week, and I want you to be very clear about something. This was Wildcard Weekend, not Super Wildcard Weekend, which we got rid of for some reason.
That is one of those. When they did that, it was just like one of those failed. I always think of when there was a stretch of time for WWE where they just were like, you know what, screw the brand split, and Monday Night Raw became like the Monday Night Raw Super Show with stars from SmackDown and Raw, and it didn't last long because it was dumb.
So you didn't like the Super Wildcard Weekend. You just don't like the word super, it sounds like.
No, I also hate when people get named MVP, the Nickelodeon valuable player.
You just hate that because Mitch Trubisky did it before he was on the Bills.
Dude, I was like, when Josh went into the blue tent during the Bills-Jags game, like, yeah, I was scared, but part of me was also like, they better hope he's healthy. They don't want the titty kisser. They don't want that smoke.
I think my favorite shot of the weekend was they return from commercial break after Josh goes into the tent for the first time, by the way, first of 2 times. And when they cut back from commercial, it's Josh walking down the sideline with Mitch Trubisky like attached at the hip to him, and I could only imagine Mitch was going, "So Josh, you want to go get checked out in the locker room? Not feeling
fine.
too great, right? Your head probably doesn't feel too good. Look, can you see this? Can you see when I snap in front of your eyes? Can you see that? Maybe you should go get checked out further."
You know that he walked into the blue tent, and even if he was like, "Oh, not feeling, knees not feeling good, I might be in trouble," they're like, "No, you're fine."
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
The independent neurologist was just Sean McDermott wearing a fake mustache over his beard.
How many fingers am I holding up? 4. That's pretty close. It's within 1. I think he's fine.
No, he's just talking about fingers minus the extra point. It's like when someone says touchdown is 7 points. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. All joking aside, you'd have to bring out like the jaws of life. You'd have to put Josh in a straight jacket to get that man to not go back on the field. He's a dog. He's a dog.
You would just have to show him Sinners and then tell him that Haley Steinfeld is in the same room as Michael B. Jordan again. He'd be sprinting to the Golden Globes. Mike, we're going to do a gimmick that we used to do way too much, and we have fortunately pulled back on. But it felt appropriate this week. We're going to do weekly awards. We're going to do awards for Super Wildcard. I'm sorry. I'm hearing Roger Goodell is in my headset. He's telling me it's just Wildcard Weekend now. For just Wildcard Weekend. Plain old, boring-ass, dumb Wildcard Weekend, which is not finished yet. So my apologies to the Houston Texans and Pittsburgh Steelers. You will be receiving 0 awards. Is that true? You got any Texans and Steelers awards? I guess I shouldn't say things so definitively when I'm not sure. Okay, then you will be receiving 0 awards. Mike, we have a few that we're going to overlap on here because I requested that we do these awards. And then we'll spin off and we got our own awards. We'll do from there. So let's start off this. Let's start off simply here. The best game award, Mike, which I believe went to Claire Obscura.
I think it did, yeah.
There you go. The Claire Obscura Best Game Award of Wildcard Weekend, Mike. Who do you got?
So there was 2 you could go with, and I think the deciding factor for me was obviously my fandom and my homerism. So I went Bills-Jags.
You want to give us a quick recap on how that felt as a Bills fan watching that game?
I mean, it was a good game, a lot of fun. If you're a Bills fan, you're watching it and you're thinking like, why do they have to do this every time this year? Like, why do they have to do this to my heart rate? Doctors are concerned. Why can't we just blow teams out every once in a while?
Josh,
yeah,
threw to 9 different pass catchers in this game, including people that I have not heard of. And I cover the NFL bi-weekly on a podcast. And I've never heard of Shover. What was his name? Shiver?
Shavers. Everybody knows
Shavers. I had never heard of Shavers before this weekend.
When he got hurt for 1 second and he was questionable to come back, I was like, Jesus. Who do we have? Like, at that point, it was like, all right, we have Shakir, Coleman, Cooks, and like that's it.
Yeah. Shakir, got the passing work of 3 wide receivers normally.
Yeah.
Who do you think left this weekend just begging his offense to throw the ball to him less more? Khalil Shakir or Colston Loveland?
I think Colston, he's a rook. He's still blazing his path, so he was like, nah, feed me.
Yeah. Khalil Shakir was like, everything hurts. I'm just going to go sit on ice for a week. Please throw the ball to me less next week.
Yeah, well, it's even rougher for him because you're playing a good defense, and Shakir is very much so. He's not like a deep guy. He's try to get him in space and pick up the yak, and he was constantly just getting the pass and immediately getting tackled.
It was like it was so fun because it was like a parallel of the Packers offense where the Packers were throwing everything downfield, even in the 4-minute drill when they were trying to kill clock. They were throwing 20-yard just seam routes down the sideline. The Bills' offense was so much like, all right, run a 3-yard out, run a 5-yard comeback. We're gonna
Joe Brady loves it.
We're gonna make the passing game into a running game and make sure that we're always in 3rd and short.
Yeah, Shakir finished heavily, 12 targets. Over the next 2 closest were Kincaid and Cooks at 5. But to Shakir's credit, to talk him up a little bit, he caught all 12.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when that was 9 for 9, and they were talking about it.
Probably because his average depth of target, like when we threw the ball to him, was like, 5 max? His average was probably
Average
like
has got to be like 3.9, man.
Yeah, exactly.
James Cook had a deeper average depth of target on runs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we can look at it right here. Actually, Shakir's yards per target was 6.8. Cook's was
That's yards.
1.7.
That's not ADOT.
Oh, it's true.
Yards per target is just how many yards you got divided by targets, which also would be his yards per reception. But he's like, he would still catch the ball and then leap forward for a couple extra yards while Greg Newsome standing on top of him.
Yeah, this was one of those matchups where it's like there's no true wide receiver one. Like when you pulled up like the before the thing when you pulled up the matchup.
Well, Parker Washington.
Like the leading receivers were, sub 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parker Washington didn't have 1,000 yards in the last 5 games. Sure felt like it.
But he was big for them this game. He had caught 7 of his 12 targets for 107 yards.
Same amount of targets as Khalil Shakir. That feels right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say, the best moment for me personally of Jags Bills was, as with every Sunday, I'm sitting on the couch watching this game with my dad. And him and I are talking about turnovers. And I say, I bet there'll be 0 turnovers in this game. And the next play is the first tip pass that Cole Bishop drops. There was almost turnover. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that was close to dumb. Next pass after that's intercepted. So ended up being like 3 turnovers in the game. But I could only have been wrong faster if Cole Bishop hadn't dropped that first pick.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull these numbers up real fast because I forgot to look into it. But I mean, Lawrence, unfortunately, now with 4 playoff games, I think. No, that was his 3rd playoff game.
That was his 3rd, yeah.
Yeah, now has to live with that stigma.
Because they had to come back against the Chargers and then lost in the next round to Kansas City.
Right, which was the moment where I was like, why? What? Like, Brandon Staley has to be fired. And he surprisingly wasn't.
Made it another year.
But I think off the top of my head, and I could be wrong, feel free in the it's either comment on the YouTube version of this or
send a letter or throw a brick through Mike's window. Yes. I will DM you his address.
A strongly worded letter, but I think he's up to 7 picks in his 3 playoff outings, which is
I'm pulling it up now. I'll let you know. Yeah. As Pro Football Reference slowly loads. Yeah, he is up to 7 interceptions. Good job, Mike.
Yep, there you go.
Now,
7 in 3 games.
Here's the question: what is the single game in which he had the most interceptions?
I think it was that Houston game. That's how they got down so bad because he was just turning the ball over, right? The Chargers game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 4 interceptions in that game.
Yeah,
4 interceptions. 1 against Kansas City. 2 against Buffalo. But congratulations to Mr. Trevor Lawrence. This was his first playoff game where he had more touchdowns than interceptions.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this has been T-Law's most impressive year because of the Cohen effect. It broke my heart. This game was very like, I'm sorry, little one, that we have to do this to you.
Yeah, you had to old yeller them.
Yeah, if had the Jags won, it would have been the first time where I would have been rooting for the team that eliminated Buffalo from the playoffs because I would have wanted them to pull it off and go the whole way.
Ooh, if the Jags won, who would I be rooting for? I mean, the Broncos come out of the AFC, obviously, because of my family. But who would I be rooting for, like, secondary in the AFC? Maybe Houston? Yeah, I think Houston. Because I'm a big Aziz Al-Shaair guy, you know?
Yeah, most people call them Houston because there's an H at the beginning, but
not people from Houston. They don't use the
They
H.
don't?
No.
I forgot you lived in Texas for a little bit because you're a little military
I'm a
brat.
Texan. Listen, Alamo.
People actually don't know this, but Adam's Japanese.
Watch the YouTube video to learn more.
Yeah.
My best game. Bears-Packers, the
Obviously.
other option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know if you are aware, Mike, but the Bears came back from a lot of points down in this game.
18 points down, to be specific.
18 points down. Now,
21-3.
Here's what a question that was posed to me that I'm going to pose to you, and it's a pretty good question to be posed. Rank the top 3 people in terms of how responsible they are for the Bears win.
Oof. I'm going to say Caleb.
Mm-hmm. 2 picks, Caleb. 2 picks, 50%
Still.
passing, Caleb.
Dude, that's what I kind of settled into this on Caleb because I think who was calling that game? Was that NBC?
Yeah, it was Al Michaels.
Al Michaels and
or was that the Collinsworth game? I can't remember anymore. No, Aikman's gonna be tonight.
Yeah, so someone pointed out, whoever the the color guy was, pointed out that like Caleb was like towards the bottom of the league this year in completion percentage. And I heard that and I was watching the game. I was like, yeah, I've like definitely settled into the fact that Caleb's never going to be a super accurate, high completion percentage QB. He's going to be the guy though, who with those completions makes the most of it and has those couple throws a game where you're like, Jesus Christ, how did you do that?
Did we fail to mention that Josh Allen had an 80% completion percentage?
Which is hilarious because coming out of college, they were like,
yeah, exactly.
Completion percentage is bad, and that's the one thing you can't teach and make better.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Teams are going to be ruining themselves for like another 15 to 20 years trying to be like, well, we got the new Josh Allen. Will Levis, he's the new Josh Allen.
It's like 60 to 70% Josh's fault, and I'd say 30 to 40% Mahomes' fault. As people are like, we can take these people with this raw talent and make. I mean, that's why Anthony Richardson went when he did.
Yeah.
You know.
But back to Bears-Packers. So you're putting Caleb Williams 1. Who are the other 2 on your list in terms of who is most responsible for the Bears beating the Packers?
I mean, DJ Moore, obviously, game-winning tutty, and made some clutch catches in that game. And then I would say, obviously not we'll get to our most important play award, and I'll mention it then. And I feel like you have to put Ben Johnson in there. Because I think your team's mentality and their attitude is heavily connected to the head coach.
Now, is there any part of you that thinks that Matt LaFleur deserves to be mentioned in terms of the 3 people most responsible for the Bears win?
I don't. I feel like I've heard some people say that. I don't think he coached a terrible game, dude. Even after Chicago scored, what was it? Early in the 4th? I think it was.
You mean their first touchdown of the 4th when they went 21-16?
Yeah, like they responded and put up numbers.
They scored a touchdown right after that.
Yeah, and you're like, like that's a backbreaker. They probably put this away, back up 2 scores, but just obviously it didn't turn out. But I don't, and obviously we have the Staley coming up as well for the worst coaching decision of the week. But I didn't feel like this fell on LaFleur. Did you?
I think that LaFleur did pretty poorly on the last 2 drives. Now, some of that is how much can you blame him for a missed field goal? That's not his fault, A, because he's not out there kicking, and B, fun fact I learned today, on the Athletic Sando Pick 6. Soldier Field has the lowest kicking percentage by opposing field goal kickers in the NFL.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and a lot of that's because of the orientation of the stadium. It gets a lot of crosswinds off the lake. Gets a lot of crosswinds. It's hard to kick there. But both those things being said, can't blame him for those things. You can blame him for the clock management, which was all over the place and poorly done. Now, Andy Reid, famously terrible at being a game manager for a long time, got better recently. Sean McVay, same thing. So it's not like Matt LaFleur. Too many LaFleurs.
You put Mike LaFleur in the rundown, and I was like, close.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Oh, sure did, didn't I?
Yeah.
We'll just talk about Mike LaFleur instead. No more Matt LaFleur talk. It's not like he's in horrible company by not being great at time management and timeout management. That being said, it definitely shot his team in the foot when they just kind of ran out of time. But let's talk about Chicago. Let's not be the people who talk about the losing team. Let's give some flowers out. For instance, Colston Loveland, who almost like they were playing Madden, the play just started working where they could just throw it to Loveland outside the numbers and he would catch it for 11 yards, and they just said, "Oh, let's just do that every time."
Yeah.
We were talking about Khalil Shakir for being like targeted over and over again. Loveland, 15 targets.
How many did he catch?
8.
8.
8 for 137.
You have to go back and watch the game tape on stat lines like that to see, like, all right, well, how many of them are really catchable?
Yeah.
I'll say this. Even though Loveland, like the last, half or third of the season, like turned it on and was great, I was still over here going like, terrible draft pick. And then after this game, I was like, all right, they were right. My bad. Apologies to Loveland.
Yeah. A few times Ben Johnson got like too far in his bag. Like the DJ Moore trick play run.
Yeah.
Big weekend for offensive gurus getting too far in their bag.
It happens.
The Drake May Philly special overthrow comes to mind. Now, there was Kyle Shanahan getting too far in his bag and having Juwan Jennings throw a great pass to Christian McCaffrey. So sometimes
most accurate
people get
QB
just the right
of the
bag.
Weekend, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Narrowly beating out Josh Allen at 80.
Yeah.
But you almost can't discuss enough some of the weirdness from this game if you didn't watch it. Like, Green Bay had 4 fumbles that they recovered all of them. Did they have a turnover on any of their fumbles?
I don't think so. Let me double check.
Yeah.
No, 0 turnovers for Green Bay.
Christian Watson had the one like flipping into the goal line. They had the one on the opening kickoff that got punched out and rolled like 30 yards upfield, and Chicago players were kicking it all around and it went out of bounds.
Yeah.
Jordan Love threw 4 touchdown passes, got sacked once, and they lost.
Yeah, I mean they were up 21-3, and because of the way their second meeting went, once again in Soldier Field, where the Bears made another I know for sure it was like a 2-score comeback late. I was like, I don't think this game's just not over yet.
The Bears defense couldn't stop shit in the first half, and then came out in the second half and just I mean the Packers offense was completely stifled in the second half. They scored 6 total points after going up 21-3.
Mm-hmm.
That is absurd. Like, what was the halftime speech by Ben Johnson? Was he ripping everyone's shirt off?
I don't know.
But I think those are inarguably the 2 best games of the weekend, right?
Yeah, I have a free space award related
to
this game.
Award.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your free space award related to this game?
It was the locker room moment of the week that went a little viral. Of Johnson, he's in the locker room talking to the team, and then some player from the back just yelled "fuck the Green Bay Packers," and Ben Johnson just goes, "Man, fuck the Green Bay Packers." Hell yeah.
He him doing the short handshake with LaFleur got me too.
Oh, he's leaning so hard into this is a rivalry.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, Ben Johnson, when he got hired by the House family or whoever the fuck owns Chicago now, he must have just in the interview said, "I promise you, I will make sure everything I do is about hating Green Bay."
It's worked out. 2-1 against him this year.
Mike, our next award that we both have, the Brandon Staley Memorial Worst Coaching Decision of the Week, which is a award name that over the years, as Talent Alone continues to grow and balloon and absorbs Netflix and Microsoft and Apple and probably the U.S. government and Greenland, will outlive Brandon Staley's name in a way that eventually, if you Google Brandon Staley, the first result will be the Brandon Staley Memorial Worst Coaching Decision of the Week. I got two for you, but I want to give you the opportunity to go first here to see if you took one of them.
So I had a couple here, but I'm going to go with the one that I think is mostly, in my opinion, and I kind of struggled a little bit to find one I felt like super strongly about, but Dave Canales leaving his first playoff game and a loss with 3 timeouts in his pocket, pretty unexcusable.
Yeah.
Especially like that last drive, like that game-winning touchdown drive by the Rams, like they're just moving the ball down the field, and he's just sitting there being like, "Nope, I love these timeouts. These are my most favorite thing in the world. I would never use them and give them up." And I feel like that's a fallacy or some kind of problem a lot of coaches fall into when they are up a touchdown compared to a field goal, and not even up like a full touchdown, but up like 4 points or more. Yeah, where they're like, we just we just gotta run out this clock. Just like don't let him get in the end zone and hope the clock runs out. And it's just so dumb. Like call those once they get across midfield, you got to start thinking about how am I going to use these timeouts to make sure I have time when I get the ball back. Yeah,
props to Liam Cohen and the Jags for thinking that through and just letting Allen score without using up their timeouts.
Yeah, I agree.
I had two also. I'll go with the one that doesn't feel like it's punching down, and then I'll mention the other one afterwards. Because this team won, it's going to be overlooked, but that weird QB power that San Francisco ran at the end of the first half, where they snap the ball, the whole offensive line goes to block in front of Purdy, who's just like going to run up the field, and they run out of time, no field goal, no nothing. Incomprehensible. Purdy couldn't get out of bounds. The clock had to run off with 1 second left on it. I have no idea what they told Purdy in the huddle. I have no idea what the full plan was there. It was just executed so poorly and made no sense in the game. So, once again, that's the one. That's my official Brandon Staley because I don't want to punch down. The other one is LaFleur calling a pass into the end zone when his team is down 3 on the final drive of the game. Then running low on their play clock, so having to use a timeout. Then getting a delay of game out of the timeout, and then throwing another incompletion was pretty tough. Wasn't great. Not what you want to be doing if you are trying to win a football game in January.
Not great.
Not great, Jim.
Sometimes I give forgiveness, or I'm a little later on situations like going to the end zone, because I'm like, if you really think you got it, you make the throw, because if you get the points, that game was iced.
Right. Yeah. But also, gaining 3 yards and then using the timeout instead of using the timeout for nothing would have been nice.
Right. That would have been nice, too.
Yeah. Our next award, Mike. The most important play. The most important play. I have a few of these, but what's yours?
Yeah, there was a couple that jumped out that you could go with, and there's a bit of a difference between most important and possibly biggest or best. It's a difference between looking at
would be an interesting award,
right? Or it's you could break it there's most important, which you could look at it and be like, actually that play not as sexy was super crucial compared to best play, highlight level play. So depending on how we look at it, but I still went with the Caleb throw to Odunze. Escapes pressure. Yeah. It was there's 4:37 left. They're down 27-16, 2 scores, 4th and 8. He scrambles out to avoid pressure. The guy chasing him tries to lunge and grab the ankle, and Caleb does the full-on like Air Jordan pose.
Yeah.
Like leg spread, arm up, and just drops it perfectly accurate to Odunze for 27 yards.
Yeah, that. There was a couple of throws in this game that he had, where you just went, yeah, that's why you're the number one pick. But that was by far the most. Yeah, that's why you're the number one pick.
Yeah.
So I also had the DJ Moore wide open touchdown as a very important play, which is another. Caleb just runs around and escapes pressure for a while and then throws it downfield into DJ Moore, who is inexplicably doesn't have a Packer within 5 yards of him. The Rams, Colby Parkinson touchdown. And finally, my pick. Mentioned it already. The Jawan Jennings to Christian McCaffrey trick play for a score in a game that ended up being a one-score game. And was, I think, the only successful trick play of the weekend.
Yeah.
Honorable mention
I can't think of another one.
The Josh Allen tush push where they carried him for 11 yards.
Yeah. Or I'd say honorable mention to like the 36-yard strike to Brandon Cooks, where arguably the Jags' best defensive player, Lloyd, is just closing in on him, hands up in the air, and falling backwards. Josh just flings it out there, drops it in a bucket to Brandon Cooks, who was open, which I get it because the Jags defense was like, we don't really need to worry about Brandon Cooks. That was another big one.
Brandon Cooks was like decried as washed so long ago that he was playing with Brady when he was decried as washed.
And he kind of like every game since he's joined the Bills, he'll have like 2 ugly drops and then he'll have that one crucial catch. We were like, fuck yeah, Brandon Cooks.
Last award that I was required reading, and then we'll move on to our Free Space Awards. The Gone But Not Forgotten. Now, the way that I summated this award was who is the playoff team that's been eliminated that you will remember from this season. But I would like to say right off the bat, I use this award for a different reason. Despite giving the definition and coming up with the award.
Yeah.
I used it because we need to talk about something, Mike.
What?
It's an important conversation that we need to have. Is the Piss Pants nickname gone but not forgotten? Is it officially time to move on from Piss Pants Ben Johnson?
I mean, it depends on how you view it. If you think that when he's pissing his pants, he's actually in his bag, then you got to hang on to it. But if you think when the pants are dry is when he's really cooking, then yeah.
I went frame by frame through every shot of Ben Johnson. Didn't see a single wet spot.
Yeah,
there was no piss pants behavior in this game, Mike.
For you coined him Piss Pants Ben Johnson because the one year he decided to stay at Detroit and they were like, hey, Washington wants an interview. And he was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
so
he didn't like it because
coined
it was
him
basketball people.
Yeah, Piss Pants Ben Johnson. And part of you was hoping he would take over the Bears and fall on his face.
Yes.
He didn't.
He didn't. Can I offer an alternate nickname? I'm not sure it's going to stick. It doesn't have the star power of a Piss Pants Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
But I think he's graduated. If this was Pokemon, he would have hit his second evolution. And now, he's Bone Dry Ben Johnson.
Bone Dry Ben. I like it.
Bone Dry Ben
BDB.
Johnson.
I like it.
Like I said, it's probably not going to carry the weight of Piss Pants Ben Johnson. And Piss Pants Ben Johnson, gone but not forgotten. Great era for Talent Alone. During that time, I would say we had our highest highs and lowest lows.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just no Piss Pants behavior to be seen, Mike. I've been looking everywhere for it. I've been begging him for some Piss Pants behavior. It's time to move on. Yeah. Gone but not forgotten. The moniker of Piss Pants Ben Johnson.
Yeah. I struggled a little bit with this award, and I was like, I don't know, I'm give it to. But I settled on the Jags just because during that first month of the season, I became a super Liam Cohen guy, where I felt like I really saw how he was affecting and changing this team, especially offensively, where I was like, yeah, I'm all on it. Duval, I'm all on the Cohen train. So
you see the weird post-loss press conference where a Jags beat reporter started off by going, I just want to tell you that you did a great job, son, and you should hold your head high. And I was like, that's fucking weird.
After Cohen was like, oh, thank God, I needed your approval. That's what I was so worried about.
Yeah.
A beat reporter who I feel like beat reporters more than national reporters are going to be the first to be overly negative because they follow just that one team so insensitively or so intensively.
Or insensitively.
I
also gave this award to the Chargers a little bit because we're doing it again, Mike. Wind up the excuse machine.
Oh yeah.
We got to give the Chargers a chance with a healthy O-line before we declare them washed or dead or whatever.
That's true, but this is a great segue into one of my free space awards that also is hip and hip to another one of my free space awards. Can I throw them out?
Yeah, go for it.
So first off, most embarrassing performance award. It goes to the Chargers offense that in a playoff game totaled 207 yards and went 1 for 10 on third down and mustered up 3 points against a Patriots defense that is good but not great, in my opinion.
And had stretches where they were actively bad.
Yeah, and that's all they could do. And it goes hand in hand with another award, which is the somehow not going to get fired award to Greg Roman, the Los Angeles Chargers OC.
Yeah, I get that Herbert's been hurt all year and that they lost their 2 starting offensive tackles. But this offense was like super gross to watch, and supposedly Quentin Johnson, Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, and their rookie tight end whose name is escaping me right now, Philip Gustafson, are all like supposed to be A+ or like B- to A+ pass catchers. And the pass offense was gross. The run offense was gross. Oronde Gadsden. See, that's like Philip Gustafson.
Same thing. Yeah.
And it's like this game was impossibly droll to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The first touchdown came in the fourth quarter to Hunter Henry?
Yeah.
Like,
and it was the one that put it away.
Herbert was under fire the whole game. Drake May was trying to hand the MVP that Stafford just handed him back to him. And just no one could get anything going. This wasn't even like a game for the sickos where you're like, but the defensive schemes. It was just like a series of people trying to sit on their balls and missing narrowly.
Mm. Which actually goes into one more word I'm going to throw out, and then you can rattle off a few to catch up. I'm sorry.
All right.
But it just ties in well with my, it's interesting, the scores award.
That's interesting, the ghosts.
Which is how they the total amount of points scored perfectly decreased as the weekend went along. Rams, Panthers comes out, puts up 65. Packers, Bears puts up 58. Bills, Jags, 51. Niners, Eagles, 42. And we finish out Chargers, Patriots, 19.
That's excellent. Now we just have to hope that Houston, Pittsburgh ends up at like 16.
And that's such a possibility with those
that is a realistic outcome to this game.
Yep.
You know what? Just for the memes, I kind of hope that Houston Pittsburgh ends up at 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I should rattle off some awards now?
Yeah, because I went heavy and ran through like 3. Sorry, I apologize.
In the most anticipated award I'm handing out this week, the Ball Don't Lie award goes to Cam Little and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who got an erroneous call that they spiked the ball in time when they didn't. Come on. They didn't.
Look at Romo and Nance are on the call, and they're like, "But look at the arms of the center. They start to move." I'm like, "Fuck off."
They were tracking the calorie burn increase that's associated with movement. They had a heat gun aimed at him. They're like, "Look, his calories spike by 10 kcals. That's associated with general arm movement."
Mm-hmm.
But then Cam Little misses the field goal. And you want to know why Cam Little missed that field goal, Mike? Because ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie. My next award that goes hand in hand with that award because it's from the same game, the Worst Announcer of the Week award.
No, it definitely goes to Romo.
Dude, Romo was so bad. What was happening? My dad described it in what was an excellent way of putting it, is that it was like he was texting while he was talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Romo's the guy that, like, supposedly stepped up the game, and now, like, Aikman and Brady and Greg Olsen have to try. And now Romo is, like, in conversation with Al Michaels to be the worst announcer on a week-to-week basis. Like he's up there with like Mark Schlereth. Like he shows up and it's like, did you like when someone is supposed to give a book report to the class and they're like, A Tale of Two Cities was a tale of one city and another city. And it was written by Mark Twain. Yeah, he's like, it's like he's watching all the players on the field for the first time ever in his life.
He had I should have wrote it down because I can't remember. But he had one comment at one point during this game about like how like each team during every series is playing the game. It was really dumb. I remember hearing it just going, what the fuck are you talking about, Tony?
He'd be talking like 45 seconds into a play and have not said anything about the play yet.
Yeah.
And of course, Herb Street, is that who he's with? No, Nance. Of course, there's the one time that Romo draws a line on the game before it happens, and James Cook runs along where that line was drawn, and Nance is just like, classic Romo. Knew what was going to happen before it happened. I'm like, classic Romo's golfing. He's fucking in there like working on his putt.
Nance is one of those guys who I think, similar to Al Michaels, is like a legendary announcer with like a super long career and has had some great moments. But because of that, I feel like some games he just phones it in.
Yeah.
And they're not as good. This ties into one of my awards. Can I throw it out?
Yeah.
Which is my award for, how did I word it? Most annoying football cliche.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes to, they scored too fast.
Big week for that. Big week for they scored too fast.
I hate it because when you really think about it, it's so, even before the Bills ran in the touchdown, they're like, no, you don't want to score too fast. You know, Josh should just like dive forward. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. Instead of just saying when you have a chance to get points, you take them, because having more points than the other team is how you eventually win the game, by the way. Intentionally don't score, so then you can run another play where something can potentially go wrong. That's smart. Let's do that.
I'm of two minds on the they scored too fast thing. I think there's a situational game plan where it makes sense to say, yes, we're going to risk something going wrong to not score. And we're going to play another time. And that is like when you are in a Rams situation this week where the Rams defense played so poorly, and it would say, we just need to keep the ball out of the Panthers offense's hands because our defense cannot stop anything. However, the Bills defense was playing pretty good in the second half. Yeah. So I don't think that it applied there. The other time that I can see it making sense is when like you have a guaranteed you're going to score play, like the tush push.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Bills kind of have that. I mean, the play before they had run an 11-yard tush push somehow.
Reggie Gilliam had his elbow. He was elbow deep in Josh's ass, pushing him forward. Shout out Reggie Gilliam.
But like, I think that the whole like score too fast discourse for this Bills game was ridiculous because like Jacksonville was out of timeouts, right? Or they had maybe like one timeout, and there was less than a minute left. And the Bills team is the single team on planet Earth that is most geared for thinking, okay, how do we know we're leaving too much time on the clock?
Yeah.
They have, in the 2020s, they have the most famous situation of leaving too much time on the clock. So if there's going to be a coaching staff that I trust to say, I think that we got this, I don't think we need to worry about leaving too much time on the clock, it's going to be the team that lost a game in such fashion with too much time on the clock that it is now has a nickname.
13 seconds. 13 seconds. I think for me, it comes down to my same opinion when it comes to like big moments late in the game where you could go for it on fourth down, which is, I think no matter what in a game, if your option is I can have the ball in my hand with a chance to win this thing, you always take it. It's why I like the Eagles game. You go for one, go to overtime, or you go for the two. You know, get the 2-point conversion, we win this game.
You win it.
Yeah, and I'm always for going for the absolute option compared to the throw it up to more possibilities. So if my option is the points are there, take the points, because that we get points compared to the other option of you open it up to another play where God knows what could happen. You increase the possibilities of something else happening. So that's where it comes down to me, where the thing where they're like, score with too much time. Like that's where I kind of fall on that.
Did you have any other awards? Because I have 2 more.
I have 2 left.
Okay, so I'll go first and we'll trade off here.
Mm-hmm.
My surprise discourse of the weekend award. The surprising discourse of the weekend. Aaron Andrews' jacket. This became such a thing. Like, I initially texted people about it because I thought it was funny. Yeah. And it's like still a thing today. Like, people are still talking about it today.
Was that made out of skunk?
No, she had to kill 101 Dalmatians to get it.
Oh, that's what it is. She's Cruella de Vil.
She's Cruella de Andrews. Listen, Aaron Andrews always is like into dressing up on these nationally televised games that she is on. That jacket was preposterous, Andrews. that jacket was absurd, and it was very fun to talk about. And Michael Strahan mentioned it on the broadcast, and they mentioned it in the booth, and people are talking about it the next day. So this was the surprise discourse. Before the weekend, you had said, hey, people are going to be talking about a jacket a lot on Monday. I'd be like, oh, what? Did, like, A.J. Brown put a jacket on at halftime and not re-enter the game or something? Mm-hmm. No. Aaron Andrews just wore the most absurd coat ever shown on NFL TV.
Yeah, it was very, like, I was waiting for a bucket of fake blood to come flying in and someone would be like, fur is murder! Fur is murder! It was wild.
Mike, what is your next award?
I need a name for this award still. I'm gonna put it the using stats to promote my biases award.
The bad faith award.
Yeah, it goes to Jalen Hurts, who I'm not a big Jalen Hurts guy. Who went 0 for 4 on passes that were 20 yards plus downfield, and 3 of 7 on passes that were 10 to 19 yards downfield for 38 yards.
Of those 0-4 passes, 20 yards downfield, how many of them hit A.J. Brown squarely in the hands and he dropped anyways?
Yeah, this was part of my thing where I was like, man, I feel like A.J. Brown. Like, I refuse to, no matter what the Eagles say that there's no validity to the A.J. Brown drama.
Here's an important facet, which is why you got to show up early to watch these games. The Pander King, Nick Sirianni, pre-game, they showed him out there on the field having his sons throw the ball back and forth. Both of his sons, both of them, wearing A.J. Brown jerseys.
Yeah, because they're trying to make A.J. Brown happy, even though he's 7 targets, 3 receptions, 25 yards. And without reviewing the tape, I don't think those 4 incompletions were his fault.
Some of them were.
That's true. That's fair.
He got hit in the hands at least twice and dropped the ball, and then Nick Sirianni screamed at him.
Yeah.
And had to get broken up. Is that what Nick Sirianni does? You know, we've been asking for years. What does Nick Sirianni do? Does he go yell at people on the sideline?
Yeah. What did we say? Because I asked the question last week, I think, like, how many points do the 49ers need to score to win this game? I think you said like 27. I said 24.
I think we both said something in like the mid-20s.
And that's what it was.
I might have said 21. Eagles, I might have undershot it. Oh, I would have been right at 21 still, though.
Yeah. Like, put the Eagles in a situation where they have to drop back and throw that ball late in the game. And you get him.
Yeah. Why was Nick Sirianni wearing a beanie like over his eyes?
I don't know.
It was like Mike, if you're watching the video, it was like here on him.
I never know why Sirianni does what he does. It's
Should I
just
do the
a
rest of
question.
the podcast like this? It kind of makes me look like a cartoon character.
It makes you look like you're in South Park.
My last award, Mike. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving the hat. My last award. The not surprising discourse of the weekend award.
Oh, okay.
And Mike, that goes to kickers. Kickers as the not surprising discourse of the weekend award.
Yeah.
Brandon McManus, Cam Little, and Jake Elliott. Oh boy, you guys gave us some Monday morning content to be talking here. Mm-hmm. Little missed a field goal in a game decided by 3 points. McManus missed 2 field goals and an extra point in a game decided by 4. And Elliott missed an extra point in a game decided by 4, which means the last drive could have been for a field goal instead of having to get a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's just great content. Just making it easy for us. Like, I don't even have to think. I can just show up here and be like, did kickers ruin the season for Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Green Bay, Jacksonville? And then Dan Orlovsky will come on the podcast and talk about that for a while.
Yeah. But it's a little like apropos. It's serendipitous that in a season where we were all like, kickers have become mutants and can just hit from anywhere.
Yeah.
That this would happen first round of the playoffs. They would come up big in their failure.
What was McManus has got to be the one, right? Who cost his team the most? I mean, that
was brutal.
That's a 4-point game in which he missed 7 total points of worth of kicks.
Yeah, and even the last one that he misses, it takes that game from the Packers needing a touchdown to the the Bears needing a touchdown to the Bears needing only a field goal, which they go on to get the touchdown and win the game. However, you can't overstate how much only needing a field goal compared to actually needing a touchdown affects the mentality and the play calling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like this isn't even to mention, like, just talking about the discourse around kickers, that Matt Pratter's leg was apparently held together with just like toothpicks and duct tape. And he managed to go 100% kicking the ball. Like, they had to have Mitch Wishnowsky kicking the ball off. But Matt Pratter, who apparently didn't have quads anymore and was just walking around with ice cream scoops instead of legs, managed to hit every field goal he went out there for.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the biggest things when people were breaking down Jags versus Bills. They were like, Jags got the kicking advantage because they got Cam Little, and the Bills have, like, one-legged Matt Prater.
My amateur anatomy comes into great use here, because going into the game they were like, Matt Prater has a quad injury. I was like, the quad doesn't help you kick. Like, unless you're like soccer kicking, where like at the end you like flick your foot, but that's not how kickers work. It's like a pendulum. It's all rear chain. It's your glutes and your hamstrings. It's like, that shouldn't affect anything. And I was right. And the important lesson here is, if I say something about muscle groups, it's got to be right. And if it's wrong, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. Can I take a moment to give a shout out?
Just moving on past what I said. Yeah, sure.
Sorry. To Mizzou alumni Harrison Mevis, because I gotta tell you, the kicker for the Rams, if people don't know, that dude's a unit.
Yeah, he is. He's a unit.
He's a big boy. 2 for 2 on field goals, 4 for 4 in extra points. That man's a unit. I love him.
Mike, you had one more award?
Yeah, and you probably should have seen some form of this coming, and this award is the it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Not your fault. Not you too, man. It's not your fault. That goes to my boy, big game Bryce Young. That loss isn't on him.
Okay, I want to backtrack real quick. Harrison Melvis, 6 foot, 245 pounds.
He's a unit, bro.
Mike, he weighs slightly less than Myles Garrett.
This dude could have played another position, but he was like, I don't know, kicker's a pretty sweet gig.
Okay. Can I bitch about the Carolina Panthers? Or do you want to throw it? Finish your award. Throw out Bryce Young's stat line here.
Like, Bryce Young, I mean, completion percentage wasn't great, 21 of 40. There's for 264, 1 INT, the 1 touchdown. The 1 touchdown to Jalen Coker, who also had a great game, was, we all like to say, the fade route. The end zone fade route's dead. Not for Bryce Young. Dropped it in a fucking bucket. Beautiful pass to Jalen Coker into the corner. Even the 4th down incompletion that ended the game, that's not on him. Jimmy Horn Jr. has a defensive back trailing him. So you try to put this like right chest hand length, there's the chance that defensive back's going to get in there and swat it. So he throws it low. It's a textbook thing for a wide receiver. Go down, slide down there, get it. First down. Jimmy Horn fucked it up.
It was the correct throw to make. I like, even as a Bryce Young hater, I have to admit that last throw wasn't on Bryce's fault. He threw it where he should have thrown it, which is away from the defensive back. And he also
3 carries, 24 yards, had the 1 big rushing touchdown as well.
Yeah. Which we had some pretty good nicknames for. The Short King Shake, the Puppy Quake.
That was my favorite. I came up with,
Now, allow me to bitch about the Panthers.
Go ahead.
Real quitter shit out of that locker room afterwards. Real Toronto Maple Leafs. There's a lot of respect in the handshake line. Like, fucking the offensive tackle or the offensive guard had a press conference where he said, no one expected us to hang around, and we did. Dave Canales was talking about how this shows the stars pointing up for Carolina and that they should be expected to be there next year. That's some quitter shit, Carolina. You need to get out there and go, we had a chance to win that game and we didn't.
I totally agree.
There's no fucking participation trophies in the NFL outside the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. There's no participation trophies in the NFL. You don't get credit because you were 8-9 and won your division and hung around with the Los Angeles Rams. Guess what? All you fuckers are still sitting at home for the next 4 weeks while we crown the actual champion. So how about we stop with the quitter shit, Carolina, and just get out there and get ready for next season.
That's fair. I will say there's something to be said that coming out of not super wildcard weekend, that the 8-9 Panthers were not the team where you watch them play and we're like, team shouldn't be in the playoffs. It was the Chargers.
No, that would be the
11-6.
Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we did the power rankings on teams that shouldn't have been in the playoffs, the Panthers are like pretty far down there. Like it's like Chargers, Philly, then maybe the Panthers there. But like they looked like they belonged. That's for sure. And I now have no faith in the Rams. Mike, did you have any other awards?
That was all of them.
That was all of them. All right. Well, let's burn through our next couple topics here, as we went quite long on that, which is fine. It was fun talking about Wildcard Weekend. Let's talk about Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
I was expecting us to have news, which is why I put this in the rundown. We don't really have news. Initially, the report was that he was going to come out and talk with the CEO or GM or whatever it is for the Green Bay Packers, because he is seeking an extension. And I don't know if you know this or not, but he lost in the wild card round, which is a bad time to ask for an extension.
Collapsed in the wild card round, actually.
Collapsed, like Eminem. But so he goes to talk to management today, and I'm expecting to hear an announcement one way or another, and we get nothing. Just that the Packers would like to retain him, and they are negotiating an extension. That's all that we got right now on what the situation is with Matt LaFleur. But here's my question for you, Mike. If you are the Packers owner, which congratulations, you can buy stock for like $11 and you could be a Packers owner. Do you keep or fire Matt LaFleur?
So this comes down to, is there a better option right now?
And some people would say John Harbaugh, which I would disagree with.
Yeah, because I don't know how different Harbaugh is. I know he had the one Super Bowl, but outside of that, not a great playoff resume. So he's not too different from LaFleur, who is head coach, his first head coaching gig was here in Green Bay, 7 years. He's 76-40-1. Pretty
first
good.
coach to win 13 games in his first 3 seasons, has the 11th best win percentage amongst coaches with at least 100 games.
The problem that creeps in is you look, he's made the playoffs 6 to 7 years. Great. He's 3-6 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's rough.
Yeah. Not great. But how much of that is on him? Like, if you go back and look at some of his playoff losses, there's the divisional round, or it might have even been the conference championship. I can't remember now. Green Bay against San Francisco. We're at the end of the game. Green Bay has the opportunity to win. This is Rodgers' penultimate or ultimate year in Green Bay. Green Bay has a chance to win. They're in the deep red zone, and there's the shot of all of the green space in front of Rodgers between him and the end zone, where he could have just run it in, and instead he throws the ball. It's incomplete. Packers lose. This game, once again, LaFleur fucked up the game management in the last 4 minutes, but are we blaming LaFleur because McManus missed 7 points worth of kicks?
Not really.
Like, if McManus hits any 2 of those, they win, or at least tie. But he misses 7 points worth of kicks. Last year they have the... Oh, they missed the playoffs last year, right? Was last year was the year because Minnesota, Detroit... Oh, the Bears missed last year.
Yeah, they were 11-6 last year. They made the playoffs.
Yeah. So let me see.
They got eliminated.
Because I was thinking 2 years ago when they beat Dallas.
Wrong thing. They got eliminated. Pull it up real quick.
They got eliminated by Philly, 22-10, in a game that I have no memory of.
Such a bitch-made Philly win. Sorry.
The year before, they have the ridiculous win against Dallas, lose a close game to San Francisco.
Made Jordan Love so much money.
Yeah. They miss it in 2022. In 2021, they have the loss to San Francisco. And you go back to his first year in the conference championship after being the 1 seed, going 13-3. They lose to San Francisco on that Aaron Rodgers play. Yeah, I think that the key thing here is there's no proven asset that's going to be better than Matt LaFleur. I was talking with someone over the weekend about this, and they were like, you have to fire LaFleur. And I evoked the Family Guy meme where it's like, okay, but you fire Matt LaFleur and you're going out there in the coaching search being like, yeah, but we can hire this up-and-coming offensive assistant, and he could be anything. He could even be Matt LaFleur. Are you really getting better on the offensive end of things? Or do you want to bring in a different guy for cultural reasons? Yeah,
I mean, so LaFleur, if you want to try to make more of a case to fire him, LaFleur is an offensive guy. And depending on what stat you want to use on his offensive ranks while he's been in Green Bay, if you want to go by either one, if you want to go by points or yards, he's only finished in the top 10 twice.
What about EPA during his time?
I don't have that up. Pro Football Reference doesn't care about those nerd advanced analytics. Probably unless I clicked on their advanced tabs.
Okay, so from 2019 to 2025. Oh, let me update it to include the postseason. From 2019 to 2025, they are third in offensive EPA.
Yeah, there you go. He's doing his job, or at least his background's carried over.
Yeah. Do you want to see if you can name the 2 teams ahead of them from 2019 to 2025?
Bills and the Ravens.
Close enough. Bills and the Chiefs.
Nice. I don't want to give I figured it was the Chiefs, but I hate the Chiefs, so I wouldn't want to give them that.
The Packers are also third in success rate during that period on offense. He is doing what you brought him in here to do. And imagine Jordan Love on the Raiders.
Not great.
Or the Colts even. A team that had a good season but missed the playoffs. He's probably not even in the conversation for starting quarterback on some other teams. And I'm not saying Jordan Love can't be a starter in the NFL. I'm just saying that I think that there's a Matt LaFleur bump to be discussed.
Yeah, and I will also I will defend him in another area where I say, what was the biggest move they made in the offseason?
Micah Parsons?
They trade for Micah Parsons. So when you trade for a guy like Micah Parsons, it's because you're like, you know what? Fourth quarter, when you need it, Parsons is going to get pressure. And he wasn't there because he got hurt.
And that's not the only guy that got hurt. And listen, I get it. There's this excuse for so many teams. I mean, I already gave it for the Chargers. But Zach Tom, their best offensive lineman, hurt. Jesus Christ. Their tight end, whose name escapes me now. Tucker Kraft, their best offensive weapon, hurt. Micah Parsons, the guy they traded 2 first-round picks for, hurt. During this game, Edgerrin Cooper, their best linebacker, hurt. Guess what happened after Edgerrin Cooper went out?
What?
Colson Loveland turned into fucking prime Mike Ditka.
Yeah.
This team had a lot of injuries. And a lot of important injuries. And everyone's hurt now. Everyone's got injuries. But they lost easily their best offensive piece, their best offensive line piece, their best defensive piece. And then during this game, probably the guy holding back the dam on Colston Loveland turning into Kyle Pitts if Kyle Pitts played football.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, is Tony Romo in me now? Mid-podcast doing a quick phone check.
Absolutely right, Jim.
So let's put a capper on this. Keep or fire, Matt LaFleur. I just want to call him Mike LaFleur so badly.
I don't think there's a better option out there. You could try to say Harbaugh, but I mean, I see all these teams that fired their head coach just interviewing the other head coaches that got fired in some sort of weird, incestuous mediocrity.
Yeah.
That I just can't understand.
Yeah, like if you're a Packers fan,
hang on to him.
If you fire Matt LaFleur, are you excited about Kevin Stefanski?
No.
Are you excited about, I don't know, Chris Shula? Yeah, this is not the year to fire Matt LaFleur. You fire here's a great indication of why it's wrong to fire Matt LaFleur. If you fire Matt LaFleur now, he instantly becomes the best coach on the market. He jumps Harbaugh to be the best coach on the market.
I don't know if he jumps him because I think there's so much respect for Harbaugh's longevity in NFL circles, but I think he would be the 1B to his 1A. Absolutely.
LaFleur's 46. Harbaugh is 63 years old and hasn't won a Super Bowl in longer than LaFleur has been involved in the NFL.
Pete Carroll is 111 and still the Raiders were like, oh boy, we got a
guy.
It
had that work out for them.
Not great. But NFL teams don't learn quick from other teams' mistakes. It's a fact.
They try real hard, though. They try real hard to go, we're going to get our Josh Allen.
They do the Tobias Fuke meme. Did it work out for anybody else? No, but it could for us.
All right, Mike. Moving from the NFL to the college ranks. I'm going to give you 2 minutes on the clock per game here. Catch us up on what happened in the wild world of the college football playoff this weekend.
Miami, they keep going. Number 10 seed, barely got in there, getting in front of Notre Dame. They just keep going. Beat Ole Miss 31-27 in what was a very good game where Miami jumps out to the lead and they just keep kind of shooting themselves in the foot and not being able to put it away. Trinidad Chambliss, who struggled early on, came back to life to play great. I love me some Trinidad. But
coming to the NFL? Didn't get that waiver.
He didn't get the waiver. Big surprise. His agent said, we're going to court. But in the meantime, Ole Miss got a commitment from Deuce Knight out of the portal. I don't know if Deuce Knight signed a paper or it's a verbal commitment based on the idea that if Chambliss's waiver gets cleared, he's still in the portal and he could go somewhere else. That'll be interesting to see. Winning score was Carson Beck scrambling on where you can tell the Rebels did not think he would scramble. This entire play is going to the right. Carson Beck sees it. And the second he takes a step to the left, I was like, there is no one there. That is wide open. Who goes in for the winning score. I'm still heartbroken that they didn't call a PI on the last play. Just because.
Can we litigate this real quick?
Yeah.
They're never going to call a PI on that play.
So my beef is that they were calling pass interference all game.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
The last play, they put that flag away. You got to have consistency, Adam.
They're not going to throw the flag on, for all intents and purposes, Hail Mary with the game on the line. They're not going to throw a PI flag.
This wasn't like hand fighting, which is what the announcers try to be like. And like whoever it was who's like the former ref in the booth is like, oh, you're not going to call that. You see it. The Miami defender doesn't just have his hand on the receiver. Dude, he's in the shoulder pads clutching him. I think you got to call it. Still, I texted you afterwards, and I was like, Trinidad threw an incompletion, and I'm extremely impressed by that incompletion because he put it right where it had to be.
Yeah.
That was just such a great throw. So
and
either way,
time is up on this game.
Last thing I'll say real fast is that Miami's continues to win defensively. I know they put up 31 points, but still defensively, they didn't have a great success rate pass rushing, but what they were able to do hemmed Chambliss in. He wasn't able to scramble out and make crazy plays for a good chunk of that game. So next day, we saw Indiana just put
I'm only giving you a minute and 45 seconds on Indiana because A, that game was terrible, and B, you used up 15 seconds talking about Ole Miss and
they
Miami.
Put complete belt to ass to Oregon, which is a thing that like I kind of saw coming because earlier in the year they play, it's a close game, and Indiana gets this win. It's like a big win for Indiana, a top 10 victory on the road. It showed that they're legit. The thing that stuck out to me going through the rest of the year and their first playoff game, I was like, oh shit, Indiana got better since then. And there was a big coaching advantage, I think. Dan Lanning got out-coached again in a big game where the first play, D'Angelo Pons picks off Moore for a pick six, which also led to like the best tweet I saw, which was like, for decades, Ducks have trusted Pawns, and today they betrayed them.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, right. Oregon gets the ball back. They march down the field and score. And then Cignetti gets interviewed during a commercial break, and he's like, we had a guy get hurt, and we just couldn't get lined up defensively. And then they adjusted. And once from there on, like I said, belt to ass. Just dominated them. Fernando Mendoza played great. And Adam, the last thing I'll say, because I know I'm running low on time, is that...
You got 40 seconds left.
Oh, okay. Is that I've held off all season on the Mendoza thing. I've just said, like, yep, he's going to be the first pick. He's playing great. I'm all in now. This dude gets it. He sees it. He makes it look effortless when he makes these throws. He's legit.
You're over the Mendoza line.
I'm over the Mendoza line completely. And since I have time, the one last thing I will throw in is that Oregon got a commitment from Dylan Raiola in the transfer portal. He started basically 2 full seasons at Nebraska. He's not going there, and they're not paying him money to come there for him to sit behind Dante Moore. So I think Moore is draft bound.
More to the draft. Mike, let's close out our college segment here. Give me a pick and an oddly specific prediction for the national championship game, which I believe takes place on Wednesday at 11:15 in the morning.
No, it's a week from today, because for some reason everybody bitches about how the college football playoffs go too long and too deep into January, and still the powers that be are like, yeah, they need 11 days off though before the championship game.
Point favorite Indiana walking into the game.
Yeah, and that could go up by the time this goes. I think there's a size advantage on the defensive line for Miami, so they could make it tough. But I'm still, even if they don't cover the spread, I'm picking Indiana. They're just playing great. They have a chance here to become the precedent, the first team in the expanded playoff era to go 16-0 undefeated and win the whole thing. And they would set the bar for that.
The moral of the story is to play at schools that have basketball movies made about them.
Yeah. I will say some of the mistakes they forced Dante Moore into, they probably won't Carson Beck. Carson Beck isn't as gifted as a Dante Moore and what he can do, but Carson Beck's he's a grizzled vet, baby.
He's playing college ball for 10 years now.
Yeah, he'll just throw the ball away. He won't make those mistakes. But I still like I said, Indiana wins. Oddly specific prediction. I'm going to say that this game is... I'm going to say Indiana is up enough in the fourth for it to be over.
Like, okay, but I need it to be more specific than that. That's not oddly specific enough. Like 15 minutes left in the fourth, they're up enough for it to be over? Like, they're putting in the backup quarterback with 8 minutes left? We need more specificity.
That would be wild. That would be wild. National championship game, you're up so much. You're like, tiny Mendoza, because their backup's Fernando Mendoza's brother.
Is it really?
Mendoza B, get in there. I'll say...
Does his brother swear and, like, eat ass and stuff? Because I might like his brother more than him.
No, he doesn't. I don't think so. That would be crazy, though, if he was just the anti-Fernando.
Yeah. Just smoking cigarettes. He's got, like, the My Chemical Romance hair swoop.
Yeah, who probably isn't starting next year either, because Indiana got a commitment from, I can't remember which QB off the top of my head. But anyway, more specific prediction, I will say Miami gets one or less sacks on Mendoza.
1 or less sacks on Mendoza, which, by the way, my Joshua Hines Allen name theory did not pan out in that game.
He actually played pretty well.
Played pretty well. He had 3 pressures and a sack.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. That is College Football Corner. We'll check in with you a week from Wednesday, probably, to get the scoop on what happened in the national championship game.
I feel like you should check in on Wednesday so I can talk about it a little more.
Okay, Mike requesting more college football time on Wednesday. You're getting a draft segment on Wednesday.
Oh, that's true. See how like highly overdrafted I can take Elijah Surratt, who is just, dude, the man is a back shoulder certainty. There was multiple plays where a dude's draped over him, it's back shoulder, he turns, and he's like, fuck you, too small. Get off me, son. It's not having it.
I had an electric few moments yesterday where I thought that Anthony Edwards hit Wemby with a too small, but it was Stephon Castle that he did it with.
Yeah.
Mike, we're going to close it out with a little game that we usually play on Wednesdays around here, but we're going to play it on Monday, so we have plenty of time on Wednesday for other stuff.
Prospect Wordle.
It's the official Prospect Wordle song.
There you go.
For those of you that are new to the show, Prospect Wordle is a game we play here where Mike has 6 opportunities to guess a prospect from the NCAA that I have chosen ahead of time. Before each guess, Mike will receive a hint. Those hints in order: height and weight, projected draft day, class or times transferred, position, conference, and finally, the team they played for in college. With that, Mike, are you ready for our first edition of Prospect Wordle in 2026? Mike's hitting me with the Archer now, which is very similar to the Romo, but imagine a drink instead of a phone.
Send it.
Mike, your first hint. This player, 6 foot, 205.
6 foot 205.
6 foot 205. He could wrestle at 205 live.
He could. That sounds like a little wide receiver or a running back. Or a slightly undersized defensive back. But I guess not. I'm always surprised by how small defensive backs are when I look it up. I feel like Denzel Boston. I keep guessing.
No. Yeah. Is that your new Elijah Surratt?
Basically.
Mike, this player is currently projected to go in day 2. And to give you a little bit more specificity, because I feel like that hint can be a little unfair, he's projected to go in the 2nd round, according to PFF's Big Board. I should say, they have him graded as a 2nd-round player.
Okay. I feel like we already got him, maybe? I don't know. I'll say Jacoby Lane.
No.
Oh,
no.
Shit. I know it is now.
Mike, would you like to know what class or the number of times transferred for this player?
Number of times transferred, because that will get me to where I think this guy is.
This player has transferred 1 time.
Okay. Yeah. Shit. What's his name? Shit. Fuck. Oh, okay. I hit my mic with my headphones. Malachi Lemon.
No. If you guys are listening to the audio version, you need to tune into the video version for what Mike just did trying to remember Malachi Lemon's name, which was the incorrect answer.
Yeah.
6'2", 205. Day 2. This player is transferred once. Mike, this player's position is safety. Safety.
A safety. Okay.
A safety.
All right. Ooh, let's go with my boy, the hero of Oregon v. Penn State, Dylan Thieneman.
Dylan Thieneman is correct, Mike. You have hit Prospect Wordle in 4 guesses. The obvious connection there, Oregon, who we talked about, and white safety, the Cole Bishop of the draft.
Oh, I didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Cole Bishop with the game-sealing pick. Big day for white safeties, a talent alone special, as I call it.
We love them.
When a white safety gets a game-sealing pick. That's all I got, Mike. Is there anything else that we need to talk about here? Should I check to see if Aaron Rodgers has signed anywhere real quick?
Yeah.
Once again, deep talent alone lore joke that no one's going to get.
Yeah, I will say that there was a report, a scoop from insiders who said that the Steelers would absolutely love to have Aaron Rodgers back next year.
Well, there you go. Aaron Rodgers, back to Pittsburgh. Confirmed. Until we watch the game tonight and he goes like 3 for 15, sacked twice, and leaves the game early. Well, Mike, with that, we have a schedule up now on YouTube and on Twitter. That schedule tells you what we got coming out for the week. That's going to be a new consistency. Town Alone projects here. You can tune back in on Wednesday and Friday for a podcast. Wednesday, we're going to be previewing the divisional round. Friday is a basketball podcast with Tyler Karkar of the podcast fame. And we will be streaming again on Thursday, back to Pokemon. I'm going to add in some new wrinkles this time, Mike. I've been looking into some stuff. Got some new ideas to kind of spice up the last quarter of our Pokemon run here. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on podcast apps. We're not out here to like become the richest people on earth, but those apps do appreciate when people subscribe or follow us, because then they'll push our content up to other people that might like it. That's all I got, Mike. You got any other plugs? Our socials are in the description if you really want to follow us on Twitter. Mike was out there tweeting this week, so follow him.
Tweet.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Once again, I should never give promises with my track record. I'm hoping to get an article out. I've already got the skeleton of it down to kind of do like a early recap on the transfer portal, because I think I said last week like 4,500 plus players, D1 players entered it.
I feel like you like the
kind of
transfer portal as much as I like predicting awards way too early in the season.
Yeah, there you go. That's fair.
Those
So I'm
are
hoping to
lights.
get that out. We'll see what happens.
All right, there you go. Well, with that, Mike, on our way out the door here, would you like to give a white safety base shout out?
Shout out to, is he a safety? They play him at nickel corner, don't they?
I don't know who you're about to say.
I don't care because he's not a safety. But I'm going to shout him out. Cooper, Dijon Mustard, Dijon.
I like how the Eagles have a white safety that you didn't shout out.
Shout out. His name is not Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yes, it is. Rodrigo Blankenship is his name.
I thought that was the kicker.
No, that's what is that guy's name? It's Blankenship, but it's not. Or it's
Oh.
Rodrigo. It's one of the two. But Rodrigo Blankenship is the safety.
Okay. Shout out Hot Rod, Rodrigo.
Went to a team that had a white safety and didn't shout out the white safety.
Classic.